Hi guys. So I just heard Ride Monaco. Obviously not for the first time because it's been played live for about a year now, making its debut early 2023. And then I saw them play it in Taunton when they supported Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. That was in August last year. So it's not a new tune. I knew how the melody goes. I knew how the songcraft was, the songwriting. But what really threw me was the production on this, which is not really my style at all. I'm a 90s alternative rock fan, through and through, a 90s alternative guy. And the 80s production, I never liked that at all. It's never been like, it's the stuff that my parents are into, and you know I've always kind of rebelled against that 80s sound, the synth pop, synths, and sort of the drum, the kind of the dead 4/4 drum beat, without any like natural fills going on, and just the whole gated reverb thing, and the kind of lifeless vocals. I've never been a fan of that 80s commercial sound at all. And unfortunately, this sounds like it's been hijacked by Trevor Horn or Dave Bascom. Those big 80s producers. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite a good tune when they were just using the guitars only. I mean, this does feature guitars, but it's really being outweighed by the synthesizers, the Prophet 5, and what else are they using? They've got the Prophet 5, so the Roland Junos on it as well, I think. But it's being overshadowed by them, the guitar, and I thought it was a much better tune when they were just using the guitars for it. It had kind of a Cure kind of feel, I guess. I mean, even though they use synthesizers, of course, but yeah, I just thought it had a bit more momentum to it. I thought when it was just the guitars, I thought, a bit more rock and roll about it. Because it's quite an angry song, I think. It's, I'm not entirely sure what it's about. Obviously, Monaco is the subject, but I don't know what stance they're taking, what angle they're coming from. Is it against all the rich people who just spray champagne, like £1,000 bottles of champagne on the beaches, and they just waste it? Is it like a sort of capitalist, anti-greed kind of song? I hope it is, because places like bloody Monaco and Dubai, they need to be inspected really and taken down, because those places it's just outrageous sums of money that people, that are only the 1% have. So I hope it is like a rage song against Monaco. All those yuppies and that spraying £1 million bottles on the beach. I mean, what's that all about? Whereas we got us working class lot, working at Tesco, just day to day trying to get by. It's just unfair. So I hope it's an anti-capitalist kind of song. Stick it to the man, working class thing. But yeah, who knows? I mean, it's not too clear. Yeah, I think Mark's vocals, I'm not really. There seems to be like a very speed moment. I think it's like just before the minute mark, like 54 seconds into the song. Like Mark's voice in that, it just sounds like it's got some kind of not auto-tune. It's not quite as wobbly and robotic as that, but it's like very speed, like the pitch correction they used to use in the 80s. The very basic pitch shifting that they used to use, and it does sound like that he's got that effect on his voice. And I think that's another negative of this song. And it's all kind of, all the singles so far, they're sounding very samey and, you know, as you expect, because normally you get one track and then that's, you know, for the masterer, that would be the templates that they base the mastering on. So I was kind of expecting it to be synthy still, but I just didn't think it would be this kind of, this 80s. Like they've gone proper like Human League, OMD, orchestral maneuvers in the dark. Really reminds me of that, you know. It's just not my scene at all, you know. I know my dad's really into that kind of production, or the Dave Bascom and the Trevor Horn stuff, but not for me. I'm always into like Alan Moulder, Flood. The guys I like are John Leckie, Alan Moulder, Flood, Nigel Godrich. They're the guys that I like, especially Alan Moulder. I think Alan Moulder's the guy who he definitely has a sound. He definitely has a trademark of working on dense, multi-layered, noisy stuff. You know, MBV, Ride Nowhere, Swerve Driver, Mescal Heads, 9 Inch Nails, the Downward Spiral, I think it was that the one he did. I think it was that one. And he mixed the Killers, Hot Fuzz as well, which is a bit different in style, I guess. I think that the 2000s for me were, I mean, that's the period I remember, because, you know, I'm 30 years old now, so I grew up in the 2000s, really. But the 2000s production style as well was too clean for me. You know, as I've looked back on other decades, I think 70s and 90s production are my two favourites. The 2000s was like a rehash of the 80s a little bit, apart from, well, not so much drum machines, but I would say it was the clean separation kind of production, you know, the rock and indie bands of the 2000s, they didn't really have much dirt to their sounds. It wasn't like over bloated, you know, like the 90s records, and I really love the over bloated sound. That's what really drew me to the 90s, is the whole kind of psych, dreamy wall of guitars that you hear. All of it's just great tone and texture, and the 90s songs always feel like you're riding a wave. That kind of production, I think it's, you know, the compression on the guitars, and it's never too much. It's like, you know, you get a raw, it's in between raw and well produced. That's what I like about the 90s sound. It's I mean, like the sort of the Bends, you know, by Radiohead. It's like perfect bit of grittiness, but it's also well produced at the same time. And that's why I think the 90s is the best decade for music production, in the alternative scene anyway. I mean, there's obviously a lot of dross still. There was a lot of dross in the commercial, in the charts and stuff, obviously. The boy bands and stuff, and I mean, that's pretty awful. But yeah, the 90s alternative wave was just like, I think they got it spot on, you know. It's just like spot on production wise, playing wise, you know. The songwriting as well in the 90s was just great, you know. It wasn't like pretentious prog. It was all about serving the song, like what what's he called, Jack Endino says in that Rick Beato interview. It's all about serving the song, you know, like in Jack and Dino said about the grunge scene. It was just like, yeah, perfect production values for me and perfect songwriting, songcraft, and I love the guitar tones. But yeah, so that's my take on rides. What's it called again? I forgot. Monaco. So yeah, obviously it's all about opinions. That's what music's about, and that's my 2 cents. Probably get a lot of disagreement. People thinking, I mean, you can't say I'm stuck in the past because there's an 80s sound, so they've gone even further back. You know, it's not like it's not like this production style is anything new. It's actually regressed. So, you know, if they really wanted to move on, they would probably incorporate like trap beats and that kind of that cymbal, that fast hi-hat thing. You know, they would take inspiration from like drum and bass and like dubstep and stuff if they really wanted it to be the 21st century style. And it'd be like synth pads, you know, more like it'd be that kind of deep pad sound and stuff from hip hop. But you know, I think yeah, it's a bit of a worry really. I mean, I know there's like 12 tracks on it altogether, so there is plenty of scope for good tunes. I'm sure there'll be like 2 or 3 that I'm gonna like. But you know, if that's the template, if Peace Sign, the first single, was like the template where the mixer and masterer was, they because normally you get a template and then the mixer and masterer, they obviously try and make the whole album consistent. So it kind of worries me that Peace Sign was like the lead single, and if that's the template song, then it doesn't really bode well for the rest of it, the other 11 songs. And that's, you know, 3 songs, and that I you know, I don't think are that great. So I mean, I hear some good things about Portland Rocks. Apparently that's meant to be like a leave them all behind wall of guitar noise. So I look forward to that, but I wouldn't I'm not like buzzing for it now really, as I was before. Yeah, so yeah, let me know what you think, and we'll find out then what the other songs are like quite soon. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace out.